Hi, I'm Betsy and you're watching Toasted.
Welcome to Groningen.
Thank you.
Have you ever been here before, actually?
Never. And it was quite cold when I got off the plane. It's the first thing I've noticed. Well, I got off the train, in fact.
Did you actually know any of the acts who play here? Because, this is a new music festival. So, I wouldn't blame you if you don't know anyone. For me, it's always like a big discovery.
I'm really bad at knowing people. Like I know Anne Marie is playing here because she's part of Warner. But I'm really terrible at knowing people. I did look on it, but yeah, no, I'm a bit bad on that front.
You got signed to Warner yourself. The person who signed you probably really good at his or her job, because what a signing.
Oh, how kind. I was very pleased when he did sign me, yeah. He's a marvelous man.
How did it happen?
Well, it's a bit of a long-winded story, but I was working on, I was at home working on where was I actually? I went to Paris, I studied fashion, I got a job in fashion halfway through my degree, and I suddenly decided I couldn't. I've always wanted to do music and be a musician since I can ever remember. So I was working at this quite swanky place called Balenciaga, which is a really big fashion brand. Yeah, and I was doing the stuff for the catwalk, so it was kind of quite a mega job. But it was just really driving me nuts that I wasn't doing music, which is ridiculous. But it's just something that's been in my kind of under my skin since I was born, kind of thing. So I quit that job and went back to my parents' goose farm. I'm from a goose farm in Wales.
I thought that was a joke, actually, but it's true.
I spent many a Christmas holiday gutting geese and plucking them and chopping their heads off, and so evil, so evil. It's enough to turn you vegetarian, I can tell you. You are. Oh, sorry.
We're skipping the themes here. You had a good career in fashion for Balenciaga, which is a massive brand. You were working in Paris.
Yeah.
And you gave it all up for music.
Yeah. So I thought I'd rather take the risk and try and do it and fail than never try and do it, and live with the regret. So I went back, unfortunately then I was penniless because I had no job. I was working in a cafe or something, and I'd made a little demo on GarageBand, and somehow one of my now managers found it. He walked into a PR company, he was looking for singers, and a friend from Wales, her brother, worked in this PR company. He said, oh, well, this is my sister's friend, she can sing. And that's how I met my managers. And they then said, well, look, don't work in the cafe now for a bit. Here's 500 quid. Go and write.
Jesus, that's good.
Yeah, so I was like, shit, this is right, I'm going to do this. And having only really written about 3 songs before in my life, and I'm not very I'm not sort of musically trained or anything. I was kind of winging it all. Still winging it all. Jesus, I know. So then I went to live in this caravan in my brother's backyard because I had no money. Have you seen my press picture? So there's me in the pool, and the caravan behind I lived in.
I thought that was also a joke.
No, I thought
it was like a careful, like crafted image. Like this is like you have to really find a good trailer for this video to take place.
So that's the caravan. That's the actual caravan I lived in, and in there is where I wrote what will be the bulk of my album on GarageBand. I sort of knuckled down and thought, well, this is I've managed to meet someone in the music industry, which is kind of hard enough to start with. So I thought this is my one chance. So I knuckled down and wrote about an album's worth, maybe more of songs.
10, 12 songs.
Yeah, in about a month or 2.
No shit.
Yeah.
This story gets more and more unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. And so I had all these songs that were kind of like shitty GarageBand demos, but I'd written all the parts and things. So, for instance, Lost and Found was written in that caravan. Wanted More was written there. and I'd written all the string parts and put in, shit drum beats and things, but I'd written all the parts already so you could see how they sounded. So because of that, my managers were then able to go to the record labels with it, because you could kind of hear how it was going to sound, even though it was very rough and ready. You could hear,
The rough diamond.
you could see how in the end it would, could come together, because the parts were essentially there. And then I got offered the 2 record deals with Columbia US and Warner Brothers UK.
So you're signed to Columbia in the US also.
And then
I was about to use the F word here.
it's been a very good year for me. Wow. And then Warner Chappell Publishing as well. So, and that happened all very quickly from these demos. Wow. So it all
there's no album yet, and this is like...
Well, there is an album coming. I've got it.
So did you, the songs that you wrote, those 12 songs, about 12 songs that you have, they gave you money to record this album, and...
They gave me £500, so what's that? Well, that's about...
that's just for a demo, which is great for a demo, but now you're signed to...
No, that was to live. That wasn't to make the demo. That I made the demo on GarageBand. The £500 was for me to live for 2 months and feed myself. So that's why I went to the Caravan.
But now you went to the studio and you recorded this album, and those are...
Now I've had lots of very... I'm tangled. Lots of wonderful people I've been working with, and we had a 19-piece string orchestra do all the strings.
There goes your £500.
Yeah. And that was just crazy, as you can imagine. So they're all sat there playing, like Lost and Found has got that string riff, which I played on this on my little keyboard, and then all of a sudden there's real people playing that riff, and it's
weird for you to be like, you're in fashion, half a year later, suddenly you are a pro musician, and people play your stuff.
How lucky!
That's not lucky.
Well, maybe I've made my own luck, but it's, do you know what I mean?
Clearly you have a lot of talent.
You've got to have a bit of luck. I managed to meet my manager, which for me was very lucky, I think.
Do you really believe that? I don't think so. I think you set out to do this, and you have talent, and obviously you have everything, and you did it. So that's not luck, you did it.
Well, my mother always says you make your own luck, so I think that's yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's been pretty nuts, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm here. Yeah. This is my first festival, so.
Great. Well, enjoy it. Hey, I was looking at, of course, your Twitter feed and Facebook and all your social media. A couple of things that I loved. First of all, I'm surprised that there aren't like 50 billion followers yet, which will probably be anytime soon.
Well, we can only hope, eh? Maybe I need to start like posting something more salacious. Do you know what
I loved the 360 pictures with all the hidden masks. So that was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, they're really fun actually. Yeah. And it's just mental to me that you can, because they literally stood in the middle of the field. One of them was in the field. Press the button and it just takes a hot like that in an instant. The whole thing. Oh my God. It's epic, isn't it?
For all those who want to be on the couch with you, we brought the 360 camera.
Come into the couch. Come and sit down.
Hey, and there was one amazing video. It was with your mom, I reckon, probably in an empty fish and chips shop or something.
You know what? That is my great auntie. And doesn't she look incredible? I mean, that woman's like 70, 80. She looks phenomenal. Good genes, hey? Yeah, so she's my mother's auntie. So she's been kind of, her and my great-grandmother, who has passed now, because she was 98, so...
So you'll be making music for a long, long time, I hope.
You're not getting rid of me.
Hey, another thing I saw was a beautiful picture taken for V Magazine by Ines and Vinuth. That was amazing. I mean, if you worked in fashion, of course you know they are probably one of the biggest.
I mean,
now they're taking pictures of you.
That was another kind of like, bloody hell, what am I doing here sort of thing. And they flew me out to New York. They put me in this beautiful hotel room with in this room with glass all the way around. I could see the whole of New York. And then I went in and they treated me like Naomi Campbell. It was just the most amazing experience and so surreal. And they had this wonderful hairdresser, wonderful makeup artist, and it was a really fun experience. It was amazing.
Hey, talking about the music, I think, of course, you write great pop songs and they're hits, as far as I'm concerned. One song that really struck me is Rosie. It's so minimal, and there is so much tension in that song. It's like you're on the seat, the edge of your seat if you listen to it, because it feels like it can explode every second.
Yeah.
Why did you do it like this?
Well, that was one of the first songs I ever wrote and recorded on GarageBand when I decided after leaving fashion that I would sit down and start using GarageBand. And I didn't have a mic, so everything you hear on that track was recorded in my brother's bedroom in Wales, and I didn't have a microphone, so I recorded everything. I plugged in my guitar and played it in the room, plugged in my keyboard, played it in the room through an amp, and everything was recorded through the microphone in the back of the Mac. So no, I couldn't work out how to plug in my guitar or anything, so it's all played in the room. So the only thing we redid was the vocal, because the vocal was obviously really rough, because, you know, if you don't have a microphone. So everything else we kept in from my brother's bedroom recording. And I think because it's such a sad song and it's such a real song, that kind of nice grit of it being recorded in such a rough way was just kind of how it was and should be, and over egging it was not necessary. You know, it is a delicate, sad song. You know, it's ode to my brother's friend Rosie, who died at 18 in a car crash. So it's kind of, it just sort of felt like it was right as it was, so why mess with it, you know, like it is what it is, you know, and that kind of rawness and naturalness of it is, I think, really important, because you get more of the grit and the emotion from it then.
I think we have to cut this short because other people want to talk to you as well, which is a shame because I have like 50 other questions.
I've got way more stories to tell you as well.
You have to come back. You have to come back.
I've had a very colourful time.
I believe you instantly. Hey,
More colourful times to come, I hope.
I hope so too. More beautiful times to come as well. Hey, we're here in Groningen right now, Eurosonic. This is the place where artists play to show themselves to the bookers. And the next thing that will happen is you'll probably get booked to, I don't know, a lot of festivals. So will you tour Europe this summer, what do you think?
I definitely want to. I think it's really important. I'd love to. If you know the rest of Europe will have me, I'll be there.
And what about the States? Because you are signed there as well.
Yeah, again, I mean, I went to America for the first time this year, and it just blew my mind. And I would love to do a tour there.
Did you go to Miami yet?
No, not yet. I just went.
I can picture you there.
Would it suit me? Oh, marvelous. That's what I want.
And what happened to your car? I love the red SL.
When I was driving down to see my aunt to do that film, I drove it into the middle of the motorway. So it's been waiting in a garage for about 2 months, waiting for me to get a quote on it. Mechanics, eh? Slow mechanics.
What a shame. What a beautiful car. Hey, thanks so much for your time. When will the album be released?
Hopefully this side of 6 months. This year, for sure.